Today we will start off with chapter 6, forms of market and price determination. Under this chapter we will study what are the different types of markets that are existing in the economy, what type of markets, what type of people are dealing in those markets. First of all, let us understand the term of market in the general sense. In the general sense, market means a place where buyer and seller come, meet and get into the transaction and fulfill their needs. Like they say, for the purpose of exchange, buyers are coming to buy the products and sellers are coming to sell the products for the buyers. So that is when the transaction takes place, a place where buyers and sellers meet to fulfill the desires, or they say to fulfill the needs, that is to cover up or to complete the transaction. That place is known as a market. There are different forms of market which we will be studying in the chapter ahead, and there are different types of period under which these markets start, flourish, grow. American Marketing Association defines market as the aggregate demand of potential buyers for a product or a service, right? We have certain features of market. We will deal with the features of market. It is basically, need not be the place of exchange. They come for the purpose of exchange. You know what? A market is a place where sellers exist, right? And what happens? Buyers come to meet their demands. See, one thing is certain, that buyers will go to the place only when they know that the particular seller is present there with the kind of a good they want to purchase. So sellers are already at a fixed place. Buyers have to look for that which place they are looking or which type of goods they are looking for. So they will go and meet the sellers, and the transaction will take place. Alright, that is known as a market, but both people, that is buyers and sellers, they come together, right? So it is as the demand of the potential buyers of a product or a service. We will deal with the features of market. A market involves exchange of goods and services between the buyers who are willing to buy and the sellers who are willing to sell. It is basically exchange of goods. Exchange of goods means place where sellers are ready to sell and buyers are ready to purchase. This is exchange of goods, that is sellers are ready to sell. Both the parties should be ready. So sellers are ready to sell and the buyers are ready to purchase. Where both of them agree, that place is known as a market, right? So we have again the next feature as demand and supply as the market forces. You know what? Demand and supply. There should be a demand from the buyer's end and there should be a supply from the producers or the seller's end So these are the two market forces. If there is no demand and there is only supply, the supply is of no use. And if there is only supply, there is no demand, only supply, that will be of no use. And if there is no supply and only demand, then who will fulfill the demand? Because of the missing of the supply, that will also not take place. In order to form the market or in order to run the market, there will be two market forces, or there will be two important aspects which will bring the market in the full form, that is demand and supply. This is another feature of a market, demand and supply. Next is you have to have price determination under feature of market. Now you have studied that there is exchange of goods. Exchange of good means one is selling, one is purchasing. We had earlier in the system, we had the barter system, that is, I am producing something, the other fellow is producing something. There was no cash system, it was all in kind. I am producing to him what I have, giving to him what I have, he is giving to me what he has produced. So what is missing at my place, the other person is fulfilling, and I am giving him by fulfilling what he is missing at his end. But now we have the prices which play an important role, and prices are determined only with the help of demand and supply. Like you have, this is the demand curve, alright, and you have the supply curve. The place where the demand and the supply curve is known as P, and that is the price determination. So at this price, OQ will be supplied at OP price. So price determination is very important when you talk about the market, right? Next feature is there is free entry and exit in the competitive market. Barring few markets means, except of few markets, there is free entry and exit in the markets. It means that any number of sellers can come, sell the goods, go. Any number of buyers, large number of buyers can come, purchase the goods and go. So there is no restriction on the entry or exit, both sides, that is on the side of the buyers also and from the sides of the purchasers also. This is another feature of the market. Next feature is profit motive. Why the seller is selling the goods in the market? He is selling the goods in the market in order to earn profit. He will sell the goods and in return he will get some money from the buyer. So he is selling the goods for the profit motive. And what is the motive of the buyer? Wants satisfaction. Another motive of the buyer is want satisfaction. So profit motive is for the seller's point of view. The sellers are selling the goods in order to earn profit, and want satisfaction is from the buyer's point of view. So why they both meet each other? The buyer meets the seller because he wants to buy, he wants to satisfy the desires or the needs which he has, and sellers are meeting the buyers because they can satisfy with the goods that they are producing, give them to the buyers, take money from them and earn profits. Next feature is, it can be market determination. Market determination will have size of market, right? You have different size of market, small market, large market. Then you have, right, you have local markets, you have regional markets. These are on the basis of areas. Then you have international market. So you have market determination on the basis of size, that is you have large or small markets, and you also can determine the market on the basis of areas, that is if it is a local or an indigenous market or a regional market, that is maybe on a national basis, or the international market. Next feature that you will study for the market is, there can be buyer's market where the supply exceeds demand, and there can be seller's market where demand exceeds the supply. So you have the buyer's market and seller's market. Under buyer's market you have where the supply is exceeding the demand. Buyer's market means supply is more. Supply is more than the demand. So what you have plenty of goods. See, if I go and buy something and I have lots of goods, then it's my market because I have variety of goods. So when supply is more, that is known as the buyer's market. And what is the seller's market? When demand is more. So if I am the seller, I should have good demand, then only it will be my market. Then only I'll be able to do what I wish to do in the market, that is earn profits. So this is another feature of the market. Next feature that we will study is, market need not necessarily refer to a place, right? It is not only place. Not only a place in particular. right? You don't have to meet at a certain place, then only it will be called a market. Even if you have communication through phone, through any other way, and you get the deals. Today you are studying in the era of computers, right? On the computer you just log into any website which deals in online shopping, and the people are offering goods. You submit, either they will, very important and very famous example is Flipkart. They take your address and they send you goods at your address, and then you can make the payment. There are some other sites who take your account number and they debit the number from your amount, and they give you the delivery of the goods. So that doesn't mean that you have to meet or there is a particular place. Market means any place or any other media when two people are meeting and exchanging goods and money, and that turns out to be a market. These were the features of market, right? And next thing that we will be dealing is forms of market. In economics, the market structure are generally classified on the basis of competition in the market. There are following types of markets. See, you have to study different types of markets that are given to you. We have first as perfect competition market. Market of perfect competition. Then you have second is oligopoly. Alright. Next is duopoly. Then you have monopolistic competition. And lastly, you have monopoly. You have different forms of market: perfect competition, oligopoly, duopoly, monopolistic competition and monopoly. We will study different types of markets, what are the features, how they run, how you determine the price under the different forms of market. Under perfect competition, see, perfect competition is large number of buyers and sellers. You have large number of buyers and sellers, and all are selling same type of goods. The products that they are dealing in are homogeneous in nature. That is the perfect competition. Next is oligopoly, where there are few sellers who control the market. In perfect competition, there are large number of buyers and sellers, and all the sellers are selling the same kind of product. There is no product differentiation. Oligopoly, you have few sellers who are controlling the market. Duopoly means two, where there are only two sellers who are controlling the market. Then you have the monopolistic competition that we have already seen. The goods are different, but still they are the close substitutes. I mean, there are different brands of soaps available in the market, but they are close substitutes. If you don't get one, definitely you have the choice of the other. That is known as monopolistic competition. Last is monopoly. Monopoly means there is only one seller who is controlling the market. That is, he is controlling the supply as well as the prices. So monopoly, only one seller exists. So these are the different forms of market. First we will pick up perfect competition, study the features and the price determination under perfect competition. Perfect competition is a form of market that we will study first. Perfect competition is a market situation where there are large number of buyers and sellers buying and selling homogeneous product or of single uniform price. Alright, we will study the features of this perfect competition first of all. First feature is large number of buyers and sellers. Very important point. If you take it in the real form, there exists no such market as perfect competition, because in no market there are producers who are selling the same kind of goods and at the same price. So this is just an imaginary kind of a market, as the economists say. So first feature is large number of buyers and sellers. See, there are large number of buyers and sellers, and nobody can influence the market demand. Right? Nobody can influence the market demand, because If I am visiting Mr. A, X, alright, he is all Mr. Y, Mr. Z and so on. He is producing some kind of a good. He is also producing the same good one. He is also producing the same good. He is also producing the same good. He is also producing at P1 price. He is also producing at P1 price and same with him. So if I don't visit this person, I will visit him or I will visit him. So no one seller is able to influence the demand because all are selling. No one can influence the demand means nobody can say, come take my product, it is better than the others, or I am selling it at a lower price. No, because even he is selling the same product and at the same price. Right? The number of sellers is so large that a single seller cannot influence the market supply. They are known as the price takers. Single seller cannot affect the quantity. Right? So they cannot affect large number of buyers. They are selling the same kind of a product and at the same price. They cannot influence the demand. They cannot influence the price. And most importantly, they are known as the price takers. Price takers means they cannot set their own prices. It is the firms which set the prices. You know what the funda is? It is the firms. Then under firms you have different industries. Right? You have different industries running under firms. Or you have one industry and you have different firms under it. So large number of buyers and sellers, they cannot, the firm decides that what will be the price that will be running. So they cannot make their own price. They have to sell at the price which is asked to them or ask them. They have been told to sell at that particular price. That is why they are known as the price takers. Next feature is homogeneous product. Next important feature of perfect competition is homogeneous product. Homogeneity means identical. Homogeneity word means identical product. Right? Identical product means there is no difference. All the products are identical and they are in all the aspects. If you take the shape, you take the size, you take the color, everything, the products are similar to the other industries' product. So one industry, other industry, third, fourth, fifth, how many sellers are selling? They are all selling the identical products in whichever respect or whichever aspect you take up. Next is free entry and exit. Free entry and exit means that the person, that is the seller's entry and exit is free. The sellers can come and join the industry or they can leave the industry whenever they wish to. So there is sellers and buyers both. So there is no restriction on the entry and exit of sellers and buyers. Number of sellers can come and join the market, earn and leave the market. Next feature is perfect knowledge. Perfect knowledge is on the buyers and sellers regarding the market conditions, prices and other features of the product. So the buyers and the sellers, they have the perfect knowledge of the market. That is, they know that there are these many sellers. They are selling same price or priced goods. They are selling the same goods, the goods that are identical to each other. So they have the perfect knowledge of the market. Market means the type of goods, the prices and all the stuff. Next is perfect mobility of the factors of production. Perfect mobility of the factor of production means the factors of production are perfectly mobile in the sense they are free to move from one industry to the other. There is no restriction. If I am getting money in industry A, I don't want to work because see, prices are all the more same. Prices are same. So if they don't want to, if they had a fight with the person they are working for, they can go and join the other industry and help them to make the products. So there is perfect mobility of the factors of production. They are mobile. Mobile means they can travel from one industry to other, leave one, join another. It can be that way. So it is perfect mobility of the factors of production. Next feature that is we will study is absence of transport cost or uniform transport cost. See, sometimes what happens, absence of transport cost means all the sellers are located where the goods have been produced. right? So what happens, that there is no transport cost, they just get the things and sell in the markets. Even it takes sometimes, they are all the more located near the industry area, so there is no transport cost. That is why the cost of production, or that is why the prices are same. Because if you have one seller is near the industry, one is far, so he will have more transport cost because he has to take goods to a longer distance. So wherever the sellers are, all the sellers are together and they sell the goods. Absence of government interference. Only the demand and the supply, the prices and all, they are all set by the industry. Government interferes in no aspect, nothing, no, not in production, nothing in transportation, nothing in the price setting. So they are free from the government interferences or government interventions. Next feature is uniform price. Next feature is uniform price. As I told you earlier, as the goods are identical in their size, color, shape, in all the aspects, even they carry the same price. All the products are priced in the same fashion. If I'm selling the goods for 5 rupees, the other will also be selling for the same price as goes for the third and the fourth person. So they are all selling at the same price. Then you have the demand curve of the firm. Since the firm is a price taker, it can sell any amount of commodity. So demand curve facing is horizontal line. You have the demand curve. We will study the demand curve after the features of this. Now second thing that is under study is pure competition. Now we study the pure competition. Pure competition is a part of perfect competition, and it satisfies certain features of perfect competition. Actually, pure competition, they are not the same. It is an extension to this. They are pure competition and perfect competition are not the same. Though pure competition has taken some features from the perfect competition and it is an extension to it, right? Refers to a market situation when there is no monopoly at all. It is a market situation where there is no monopoly at all. Again, the features of the perfect competition, I'll tell you. First feature is you have large number of sellers, the same as of perfect competition. There are large number of sellers, right, and nobody can influence the supply. Large number of buyers, you have large number of buyers, right, the same feature as of the perfect competition. Next is homogeneous product. Again, the products are similar in nature. Alright, homogeneous product means products are similar in nature, they are identical to each other. Free entry and exit. The buyers and sellers can come, join the market, carry on the business, leave whenever they wish to. And last is uniform price. The price is also similar. It carries the same features as of the perfect competition, but it is slightly different. In a very advanced stage, you will study that how pure and perfect competition are little different. Now we will study price determination under perfect competition. Under perfect competition, there exists a single price, as we know, right, in the entire market, and this price is known as the equilibrium price. What price you have? You say you have the uniform or a single price that exists in the market, and this price is known as the equilibrium price. Alright, equilibrium price is the price at which the demand for a commodity is equal to a supply. Equilibrium price, you know, in simple sense, if we talk, it's not the diagram for this one. I'm just giving you an example. This is the demand, this is the supply. They are both there, both the forces meet. This is known as E, or the equilibrium price, where demand and supply meet. Alright, but this diagram is not for the perfect competition. This is just for the explanation. What do you mean by the term equilibrium? Alright, equilibrium price under perfect competition. Under perfect competition, price is determined by the interaction of the market forces of demand and supply. Sellers want to sell their products at the highest possible price, and buyers want to buy the goods at the lowest possible price. Price is determined where market forces of demand and supply interact and exchange. The price is at which demand is equal to supply exchange takes place, and that is known as equilibrium price. Again we say equilibrium price means, what is equilibrium price? Where demand and supply meet each other. Where forces of demand and supply meet each other, that is known as the equilibrium price. Now what happens? The buyer wants to buy it at the lowest price and the seller wants to sell his commodity at the highest price. We will just have the schedule for it. So you have price, then you have the quantity of X demanded and X supplied. You have price, you have quantity demanded of the commodity X, this is price of X, and you have quantity supplied of X. Suppose you have the prices as rupees 20, 10 and 5. Alright, then you have the quantity demanded. You have, suppose at price 20 it is 10, and here for 10 it is 30, and here it is 60, suppose. Alright, so as the prices go down, the demand increases. This is the opposite relationship we have already studied. As the prices go down, demand increases, and what happens? The supply decreases. 40, 30, 10. That's just an example, right? So when the price is 20, the quantity demanded is 10 and quantity supplied is how much? 40. It means at a higher price, the less of the quantity is demanded and more quantity is supplied. So supply is exceeding the demand. So this is disequilibrium. This stage is known as disequilibrium. Why? Because the quantity demanded and supply, they are not equal to each other. So that is a stage of disequilibrium. Next thing is at the price of 5. Suppose quantity demanded is 60 and quantity supplied is 10, right? So quantity demanded exceeds the quantity supplied. So again we can see there is a stage of disequilibrium, right? Now come to rupees 10. At a price of 10, quantity that is demanded is 30 and quantity that is supplied is 10. So this stage, the demand is equal to the supply. When demand is equal to the supply, that stage is known as equilibrium. This stage is known as equilibrium because at this stage demand is equal to the supply. So this is the demand price determination schedule. Please we'll make the diagram. We have the equilibrium price. We will study equilibrium price determination diagram. We will see what is equilibrium price, how you will determine the equilibrium price under this. Alright, we will study what do you mean by equilibrium price and how you will determine it. This we will show with the help of a diagram. See, you have OX, OY, right? And you have the OX axis. On OY you have the price, and on OX axis you have the quantity supplied and demanded. Right? You have certain prices which are given to you. 3 prices we have discussed, right? You have different prices that have been discussed for you. 5, 10, 15, 20. You have 5, 10. You have 15 and 20. You have a difference of 5, 5. And then you have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 you can take. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Alright. Now we will make the demand and supply schedule. At the price of 20, your demand is 10. Alright. At the price of 10, it is 30. At the price of 5, it is 60. So this and this is your demand sheet. Alright. So you have this, then you have this price, at 5 you have 60. Alright. You have 10, then you have 30, and you have 60. Alright, this is your demand. Then you have supply as 20, you have a supply of 40. At the price of 20, it is 40. Right? At the price of 10, it is 30. At the price of 10, it is 30. And at the price of 5, it is 10. It is 10. So it's this way. It stops here. Right? This is your supply schedule, SS. This is the point. At the point here, you have first as 40 at the price of 20. At the price of 10, you have 30, and at the price of 5, you have this. Right? So you have the demands and supply schedule. This is the point where demand and supply is meeting each other. What is the price? 10. What is the quantity? 30. So price is 10, quantity demanded and supplied is 30 units. So the price equilibrium is rupees 10. Your equilibrium price is rupees 10. Right? This is how you will determine the price you will determine the equilibrium price. See, at this stage, what is happening? This stage, it is equilibrium. What is this stage? This is supply is exceeding. See, demand is going down, supply is exceeding. So here supply is more than the demand. In this stage, demand is more than the supply. And at this stage, it is equilibrium. Means demand is equal to supply. That is equilibrium. Alright. So this is the equilibrium price determination. Now the schedule and diagram, it is observed that equilibrium price is determined by the interaction of demand and supply. It is the price at which demand is equal to the supply. It is the price which is going to prevail in the market. Right? Now importance of the time element. Importance of time period in price determination. You have different types of period you have that exist in the market. You have, first you have the very short period, then is the short period, next comes the long period, lastly is the very long period. Very short period is also known as the market period. Alright. Then you have the short, long and the very long period. First we will discuss the market period or the very short period. Price determination under that. We will have price determination under all the periods. First you will study the very short period. Very short period, also known as the market period. It is a market situation in which increase in demand of the commodity lasts only for a short time, so that there is no much time to increase the supply to meet the demand. Right? And it may be for few days or few hours. This may exist for few days or for few hours. And you know what? Demand changes. Under this period, demand can change. Right? Because you can demand the goods your demand may change, your demand may increase or decrease as per the change in few days or few hours, but very difficult to change the supply. No supply changes. You cannot change the supply. Whatever goods you have produced, you will supply only that in the market. So very short period, it exists only for few days or few hours. Demand changes, demand increases or decreases, but there can be no change in the supply. There is no much time to increase the supply. So supply remains perfectly inelastic. Inelastic means there is no change in the supply. How you will determine the price becomes the quantity demanded. It all depends. Basically, it's for the perishable goods. Let's make the diagram. You have the supply. This is OX axis. This is OY axis. Supply curve is parallel to the OY axis because there is no change. So it is parallel. This shows inelasticity and no change. Now you have the demand curve. This is DD demand curve. Now if the demand is increasing, it's shifting towards right. So this is D1 and D1. This shows increase in demand. Then you have D2 and D2. This shows decrease in demand. Alright. So you will determine the price as here. This is the price. Right. Now it will change as per the demand you have. This is demand is increasing and demand is decreasing. This is the curve of the very short period where the supply remains fixed and the demand increases or demand decreases. Next we will study is short period. It is a market situation in which increase in the commodity lasts for some time, so there is time to increase the supply. It lasts for few weeks or few months. You know what? It lasts for few weeks, or you can say few months. It lasts for few weeks and few months, and demand increases. It lasts for quite a number of time. You can increase, there is a demand change, right? And there is a supply change also, because the producers have a lot of time. They have few weeks and few months. They can increase and decrease. They can have more production and they can increase the supply. So it can be both ways, right? Price is determined by the interaction of both the short period and curves, and this period is relevant to, you know what, you have certain periods that may be few weeks and few months. You have the demand, you have the supply, place where it meets, it's the equilibrium or price. This is E, price that you have said. This is quantity. This is OY axis where you have the price. This is OX axis where you have the quantity that is demanded and supplied. Now the demand increases lies for cost. So there's some time to increase the demand supply to a certain extent. So demand increases or decreases, as they say. We'll show the increase in demand. This is D1, increase in demand. Now what happens? There is an increase in the prices. As the demand is increasing, if there is not much of supply, the prices do increase. Alright. This is price determination under a short period. Next is the long period. It is market situation in which increase in demand for the commodity, it lasts for years and there is enough time to change both the demand and the supply. Long period exists for some years. The demand increases and it lasts for some years and there is enough time to change the supply also. So there is change in demand, that is demand is increasing, and there is change in supply too. So supply can also be changed, right? It is, the price is determined by the interaction of the long period demand and supply forces. It is called the normal price. It is going to prevail in the market in the long run also, right? So this is the very simple demand, as you have simple curves you have. You can show the increase and decrease. This is OY axis, this is OX axis. Here you have the price. Here you have the quantity demanded and supplied. This is your demand curve. This is your supply curve. And this is how the long time it is adjustable. Right? You can easily get the change in both demand and the supply curves. And here where they meet is this is the price, quantity, and this is the equilibrium point. So this was the period, that is the long period that we studied. Next is the very long period or the secular period. You know, very long period it is a market situation in which increase in demand lasts for several years or decades. Here it means this period lasts for several years, or it may be decades, you know, several years, 10 years, 15 years, so that there is enough time to increase the supply to the maximum extent possible to the demand. Demand increases, supply also increases, the price determined by the interaction of very long period supply and demand curves. So you need not have to show that, that's all similar to as the long period. It will be long period demand, price determination will be how the prices will be determined, where the demand and supply curves meet. Very long period. Very long period. Demand and supply curves meet. That is known as the very long period, market period, or secular period. So these were the 4 types of period and the price determination under the 4 types of periods. Next is monopoly. Monopoly is a situation where there is a single seller in the market. Single seller existing in the market is known as the monopoly. Mono means one and poly means seller. Right? Mono and poly. Monopoly, it means mono means single and poly means seller. So a single seller market is known as a monopoly market. Where, you know, when there is a single seller, he has full control over the market situations. That is, he has full control over the supply. He has full control over the price of the market upon the production of his goods. When he has full control over the price, means he can set his own price. When he can set his own price, he is also known as the price maker, because he is setting or making his own pricing standards. Whereas when you studied the perfect competition, they were known as the price takers. Let's do the features of monopoly. First feature of monopoly is single seller. Single seller means in a monopoly there is a single seller who controls the prices and supply. There may be many buyers who are depending on this single seller. So single seller means he is the only person who is supplying the goods, that too at his own prices, and there are large number of buyers who are dependent on this single seller. Next is absence of close substitutes. There are no close substitutes available. If there are close substitutes, he will not run the monopoly. Close substitutes means the another producer who is producing the goods of the similar nature, but there are no close substitutes available at a distance, and that's why he is enjoying the monopoly in the market. People have to be dependent on him because they don't have any other choice. Next feature is barrier of entry. The entry is not free to the monopolistic being into a monopoly. The entry barriers are the other form. See, you have to have certain kind, government has imposed certain kind of ceilings. You should have this much of investment in order to run a monopoly firm. Many people or many producers are not able to invest that much of money. See, if you talk about McDonald's, I have the monopoly. There is no other McDonald's running in a particular city, suppose. So that means because you have to invest certain crores of rupees in that. So that is known as a barrier of entry. That becomes a restriction for the other people who are unable to invest that much of amount. So another feature of monopoly is barrier of entry. Next is absence of competition. When there are no close substitutes, means there are no other people who are producing the similar goods or maybe little similar to those, so there is no competition in the market. They don't have any competitors for them. Next is no distinction between firm and industry. He is the single seller, otherwise you know what, there is a firm who is controlling all the industries, right? So there is a firm who is controlling different industry. Now what happens, there is one firm and one industry, so he is the only firm, he is the only industry, so there is no distinction as such. Next is profit maximization. He is only working because he wants to have profit. He can set his own prices, charge anything from any buyers. If he has somebody whom he knows, he can sell it free at a low price. He can sell it at a very high price because there is no competition. People have to buy from him and he is in a position to earn profits, and he has no substitutes or no competitors also. Then he is also known as the price maker. There are no close substitutes, there is no competition, he is the single seller, so he can make his own price, sell the products at a price he wants to, fix up their own prices. Nobody else can fix the prices. He can fix as per the output. He has control over the output also, so that is why he is known as the price maker. Then you study the different types of monopoly, right? The different types of monopoly. First you have pure or perfect monopoly, where firm controls the supply of a product where there is not even a remote substitute. Till far there is no substitute. So that is known as the pure or perfect monopoly, when there is no substitute at all. Suppose a state is getting electricity from the government. There is no other private institution who is supplying the electricity. So there is pure and perfect monopoly of that thing. There is no other substitute at even a remotest. Then you have the natural monopoly. Next you have the natural monopoly. See, sometimes you have the location advantages. Some goods, some soil, some products are grown only in that particular place, nowhere else. So that is a natural monopoly. You didn't take from somebody. It's by nature that you have got that monopoly, and no other place that particular crop can be grown and that particular soil is available. Next is legal monopoly. Legal monopoly means it arises due to legal protection. You buy the trademarks, you have the patents, you have the licenses. That is a legal monopoly. Only you can produce the goods through that monopoly. Next is technological monopoly. Under technological monopoly, the big firms enjoy technological monopoly. You have big firms who are importing machinery from the best of the country, the best of the places the country is making, and no other firm can afford to have that particular technology. So they are enjoying the technological monopoly. Then you have the simple monopoly, you have the discriminating private monopolies. These are the basically important forms of monopolies. Then you have monopolistic competition. Monopolistic competition means, again, there are large number of buyers and sellers. There are large number of buyers and sellers under monopolistic competitions. They are producing goods which are not of the similar nature, which are different in one way or the other, and they are not equally priced. Their prices also differ from each other in some way or the other. So this is the new monopolistic competition, is the market structure where we exist. Alright, so you will study the features first. The features of monopolistic competition. First feature of monopolistic competition is large number of sellers. There are large number of sellers, there are many sellers who are producing goods. They have the full control over the output, they have the full control over the price, but there is certainly some government intervention also, right? So they are, and sellers are able to influence the market. As we studied, they are able to influence the demand. They can change the demand. They will say, okay, my producer is producing some substitute, I will price it lower because they can set their own prices. There are large number of buyers and definitely they can influence the market. Next is product differentiation. The products are not homogeneous in nature, they are heterogeneous. That means they are differentiated. They may be close substitutes, but they are differentiated on the basis of color, the fragrance, or on the basis of size, shape, right? So this is, the products are differently made, that their goods are not homogeneous, but they are heterogeneous in nature. They are different from each other. Next feature of monopolistic is close substitutes. If you take the examples of washing detergents, you have Ariel and you have Tide. Both are meant for the same purpose. Both are close substitutes. Their packing may be different. Their schemes may be different. The color is different. They may have some extra agent that is giving some extra whiteness. Their prices are different, but still they are the close substitutes. If one is not available, people may go in for the other substitute. Next is freedom of entry and exit. The producers can, or the sellers can, enter the market and leave the market at their own wish and will. Right? When they see that they have entered the market, they are producing, they are selling a lot, and they are earning high profits. Now if somebody else sees, if the other producer sees that they are earning high profits, he will also join the market, produce the same type of goods, and your profits will decline. Surely you are forced to exit or leave the market. So this is how the chain follows. Next is price makers. They are given a certain reasonable price and they can differentiate the prices, right? They have been given certain prices, that this is the minimum, the reserve price under which you will not sell the goods. You can see what a close substitute is selling, and accordingly you can set your own prices. So they are also known as the price makers. Next, you will study the nature of demand curve under this. Right? So demand curve will be downward sloping curve. Last is you have the three-dimensional competition under this. Three-dimensional competition that exists under monopolistic competition is price competition, non-price competition, and price and non-price competition. You have price competition, you have non-price competition, and thirdly you have price and non-price together. Alright, you have these three competition that is available. First I will explain you what is price competition, where competing firms compete on price differentials as airlines, washing powder, any other product, where price difference gives a major focus on communication such as advertising. Non-price, where competing firms compete on product of differentials such as product features or after sales services. And price and non-price is both. So price competition, I will tell you that they are differentiating on each other on the grounds of price. If I say Tide is available for 140 rupees a kg and AL is available for 150 rupees a kg. So they are differentiating on each other on the basis of price. Non-price competition means Ariel is giving more schemes. It is giving 100 grams extra with the same cost, and it's giving some coupons also, and Tide is not given. So that is non-price competition. They are competitors, but not on the basis of prices, but on the other grounds. Price and non-price competition means they are competing both on the grounds of price also and on the grounds of non-price also. So this is how you have the 3D or the three-dimensional competition under this, right? Now what next thing that we have is you have the monopolistic, that is the last type of competition, where you have the large number of firms. You have the product differentiation, close substitutes, you have freedom of entry and exit, most importantly you have the 6 point as three-dimensional competition, and you have the different types of competition.